Ever since I was an art student, I've been fascinated by the ability to copy real-world objects using plaster. In this transformation, these objects evolved from being something functional, everyday, common, even banal, to a ceramic object, a potential element of a piece of art. This really fascinated me. With clay, especially in its wet state, I convert this object into something else. It's as if I'm able to reveal something that has been hiding in them. In my work, what I'm really interested in is this revelation, making people notice, observe, look differently at situations and things that they usually tend to overlook or have some conventional conception about. My themes are always connected to the multiple layers of my being, amongst them being a woman, an artist, a mother, and a wife. One of the issues I deal with is the constant struggle in which some female artists live, the complexity of juggling all these different identities. I continually examine common stereotypes, how women are perceived in society, and how society expectations form female identity. I respond to the time and space in which I create, while relating to traditional ceramic work. This series I made, called The Greek Tragedy, demonstrates how I combine my working techniques with the subject I'm interested in. The vessels are similar in shape and color to classical Greek ceramics, but they are all composed of numerous parts of my slip-cast objects, of everyday items taken from my surroundings, mostly my home. These objects represent a kind of private dictionary of form, from which the building blocks are taken to create vessels according to traditional schemes. The pattern on these vessels that look like traditional Greek decorations are also made of images related to domestic tasks. Instead of scenes from Greek mythology, I chose to embed prints based on photographic sequences of naked women doing all sorts of household chores, which were photographed by Edward Maybridge in his iconic study of movement. Working on this series got me interested in these women, the models that Maybridge used and perceived as a woman, any woman, a generic woman. I wanted to know who these women were, who in the Victorian era would agree to be photographed naked. I found out that these women were all of the lower classes. I wanted to give them back their dignity and shift the focus from their bodies to their faces, creating a large portrait of each one of them with their distinct features and personality. I call this series a tribute. In it, I also examined the overlap between fine art and crafts, by making both the portraits representing art and the frames representing craft from the same material and work methods. I used the slip-cast carpet beater, one of my favorite objects from my dictionary of forms, to create most of the frame in this series by alterations and combinations of it. My works are very delicate and fragile and tend to break easily. In my recent works, I decided to incorporate elements conventionally seen as defective, such as broken pieces, cracks, and deformations, as a part of my material vocabulary. I started working with leftover parts in different states of clay, reassembling them and combining them with raw material in a process that brings to mind regeneration in nature. This way of working enables me to expand my artistic expression and to treat all the works that I create as a part of a continuum, a never-ending process, where fractures are not a dead end, but rather a beginning of something completely new.